starts. Back at Newton, somebody has influenced our thought about the moon since the beginning of our thinking about anything. Newton, for instance, he started to venture to say that, you know, there might be more mass on the moon, and that's brought out in his 3 books now called Principia. Shortly after Newton died, somebody modified his thoughts to make what is called the Newton law of universal gravitation, which is Fg equals g times m1 m2 over r2, and he didn't come up with that. That was somebody else. He didn't think that you had to specify what the mass was. But anyway, in 1856, there was a Danish mathematician and astronomer named Peter Andreas Hansen. And he proposed, he had been researching the times and the periods of Saturn and several other things. He was very knowledgeable. But anyway, he was also looking at the moon. And he had found something strange about the moon, that when you did the predictions on where the moon should be for a particular time, for its particular mass, it was not there. And so in 1956, he went before the Royal Society, Astronomical Society, and proposed that there was a bump on the far side of the moon that was actually the center of gravity was actually placed 57 kilometers farther out in space than had been generally realized. And for that reason, he thought that there might be atmosphere on the far side, and with this atmosphere, he thought there might be plants, vegetables, and maybe even human life. So he was regarded as a hero and a very interesting guy up until 1870, when a guy named Simon Newcomb came to Paris and told everybody that Peter Andreas Hansen was full of beans, there was not a shred of truth to it, and that even if he was right about these different times, that it wouldn't make any difference. So guess who Simon Newcomb was? He was a rear admiral in the U.S. Navy and head of the U.S. Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. The reason people have an atmosphere on the moon is to have an atmosphere, you have to have gravity. And people think that it's 1/6 gravity, and they've been sold that over the years. Somebody has had an agenda here so that we don't think that there's any gravity on the moon, but there is. And the way it can be proven is by using the Bullialdus-Newton law of inverse square, which takes the size of the planets, the diameter of the planets, and the neutral point. The neutral point is that point between the Earth and the Moon where the gravity of the Earth exactly meets the gravity of the Moon. Now, NASA has traditionally told us that that's 24,000 miles. And if you work out the inverse square law with 24,000 miles, the Moon does have 1/6 gravity. But the fact is the neutral point is at 43,495 miles. How do we know that? We know that because Wernher von Braun told us that in 1968. We know that because in 2 of the books of Apollo, including Apollo 17.
Well, then didn't you say that none of those Apollo went anywhere? So you contradict yourself about several deals.
And there was another Apollo mission. They specifically told, you know, specifically said, here we are at 39,000 miles and and at the neutral point. So we know that it's between 39 and 43,000 miles, and either one of those would work out to be about 60 to 64% gravity of Earth. So having 64% of gravity of Earth, it can hold an atmosphere. And how people say, well, if it has an atmosphere, you know, how does it keep the atmosphere? Well, the same way the Earth does. They have forests, meadows, lakes, rivers, people, civilizations, and it's on a band of the moon that's just beyond where we can see. And I have a picture here, but I can't find it. But it's on a band, and that's the same band that both Menger and Adamski visited. I'm pretty sure Menger actually went to the moon in 1954. They let him step out of the train and breathe the air. He's 86 years old, living in Vero Beach, Florida. I emailed him the other day to get the exact color of the moon, and if you could reach that picture, I could hold it up. It's behind the cigar box of the moon, the color picture of the...
I saw it. Oh,
yeah.
Do you mean the one in the lobby? I'm sorry, which one are you referring to?
It's the long picture with the yellow sky.
Up at the top? You don't mean on the wall, do you?
No. No, behind the cigar box.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, I see. Those cigar boxes.
I was looking at that.
No, just hand me that photo right there.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've seen this before. Tell me what this is.
Okay, this is the crater Copernicus, and this is the same photo that's up there, but all white.
Okay, let me see that Copernicus picture, because every single one of them you show is covered by your hands. Oh, but still, it's a crappy picture. And then you see a yellow sky. How can it be? Well, the book I'm reading by Fred Steckling stated is that they see lakes. They saw a vapor cloud, a water vapor cloud 200 miles long in 2 or 3 different pictures from NASA, from the Apollo. So this is the I guess she's not gonna pose the question of why there are so many reptilian effigies on the moon of every size, shape, and color up there. And it could be possible that they are putting thoughts on humans that have gone up there. Look at that one. It looks like a freaking face made out of structures right there. But then you see this one right here is the exact shape of a freaking dinosaur. There's another white one here and another one here. Then this big one here, the big circle and the eyes in the middle. And then there is this electromagnetic vehicle right there. I don't know about that. There's some humans living up there. Nah, man. And you say the other day that Norman Bergeron, you read his book, and that these electromagnetic vehicles control the entire solar system and keep it running